At GravityKit Live. This is our first inaugural GravityKit Live event, and I thank you all for joining. And we're here to go over some basics, but also answer any of the questions that you have in the chat. So, if you're watching on Facebook, feel free to leave comments on the video, and if you're watching on YouTube, you can also leave comments, and we're going to be able to see your comments / questions and answer them live. So I'm going to say hello to both channels, and you should be able to see those comments as they come up. So I'm Zack. I run. I am not Zack's screen. I'm Zack. And I run GravityKit, and Casey is the marketing coordinator. Or I'll let Casey introduce himself.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Casey. I'm the marketing coordinator here at GravityKit.
Yeah, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be starting off with showing how to install GravityView on a blank site, do like a basic setup to just show you, what it's like to get installed, get set up. Then we're going to answer questions that were submitted in advance. We're going to go between live questions and pre-submitted questions. So as you have questions, feel free to ask them, and we'll get them right in there. And then we're going to wrap up with any additional questions that you have, and sign off there. Hi, Ken Kramer. Hi, Nirmal. Nice to see you. And yeah, let's get started. So let's say you've just bought GravityView or another one of our GravityKit add-ons, and you receive an email. I want to kind of go through the whole journey with y'all. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to hide this tab. There we go. And so you receive an email, and it shows you your license key and your account page. And if you click this link, it'll take you to your GravityKit account, where you can see your licenses and your downloads. So I've got a blank site set up here, ready and waiting for GravityKit to be installed, any GravityKit add-ons. So I'm going to download GravityView, go over to this new WordPress installation, and I'm going to add a new plugin, upload it from my new downloads, and install now. Now, I don't think that I have downloaded and installed Gravity Forms yet. So let me do that. But actually, I'm going to first activate my license, because in GravityView, if you click the licensing page, you can go down and paste the license key that we copied from the email and click Activate License. And when you do that, it'll activate the GravityView, but also you now have access, because it's an all-access pass license, to all the GravityKit add-ons. So I'm going to click Install. Oh, and I can't do that yet because Gravity Forms 2.5 or higher needs to be installed and activated. So I'm going to install Gravity Forms, which I don't remember exactly where I have a Gravity Forms. All right. Thankfully, I have a little collection of Gravity Forms zips in there.
As we all do.
As we all do, yeah. Activate it, and we're good. And you should also enter in your Gravity Forms license key, but it's not required to get things up and running. This is not a built version of Gravity Forms. So I'm going to go to my Gravity Forms account. The nice thing about live streams is that you actually do get to experience what it's like to be a customer because nothing ever goes exactly to plan.
Yeah, these are the real struggles that people have when they're getting set up.
So I'm going to deactivate and delete Gravity Forms and reinstall it. And if you haven't checked out Gravity Forms 2.8 yet, give it a try. It is really nice. The compact view that they added is really sweet, and it's actually quite close to what things look like in GravityView. So if you haven't played around with it yet, give it a shot. And we're going to have to edit this out for the video. All right, so we're in. What we're going to do is a simple contact form to start off with. Actually, let's do an advanced contact form because it has a drop down, which is nice. And you'll see that all these fields are here. For the 2.8 compact view, you can go into this gear icon here and click compact view. And then it's a lot nicer for editing a whole form. And you can see it looks quite a bit like GravityView. Whoops.
And that's brand new in 2.8.
This is brand new in 2.8, yes.
Very nice.
Yeah. All right. So from here, we click Create a View, which is going to use this new form that we just created as the source of the data for GravityView. And I'm gonna choose a table layout because it's one of the more simple layouts. But we have a bunch of other options that are available. It automatically fills in the fields from the form in the entries. So I'm going to click Publish to get that started. What you'll see, though, is that there are no entries yet. So I'm going to submit just an entry or two. And when we refresh the view, we're going to get a notice that there are unapproved entries. So this form has content, but because we wanted to do privacy safety first in GravityView, we decided to show require opt-in to showing entries until they're improved. So if you want to show unapproved entries, you can click this link right here, which will go into GravityView and turn off this setting, which is show only approved entries. So this link will do that as well. So I'm going to click this link. And now you can see the entry that we just submitted in GravityView. Clicking into that entry shows you the additional information that was submitted in the form. And that's configured here in the single entry layout of GravityView. Now, if you wanted to, you could submit another entry or two. And then those would also show up. But I haven't improved that one yet. So let's see. Oh, I don't know why that didn't show up. Oh, the link I used was incorrect for the preview. Anyway, it would show up there and you could approve it similarly. And then you can filter the entries using filter and sort to say what fields you want to sort by. If you wanted to filter entries with more advanced search parameters, you would have to use our advanced filtering add-on, which if you go into Manage Your Kit and scroll down, you can see our advanced filtering add-on and click Install. And that automatically will install and activate it. Then going back to the view, you can see that you have advanced filtering opportunity here to add conditions like I only want to show people whose email address contains Gmail, for example, and then save that. And only matching for Gmail will show. So cats.co will not show. And that's an example of setting up a basic view with advanced filtering. And you can change layout types after you've created a view. And that's just like a basic getting started. I just wanted to show that that's a few minutes and we're up and running already with GravityView. So next up, I want to start answering the questions that y'all submitted and answer any questions that you might have. So if you're in the chat, if you're watching live, then ask away. We're here to answer your questions. So, for example, David Dean, hello, David, asks, using a DataTables view, when I go into single view, is there a way to make a section span both columns? Currently, it splits the columns so the text is pushed to one side. Yeah, we don't have that currently, that functionality currently. This is something I've wanted to add for forever. So, David, you are not alone in wanting this functionality. I have started development on this multiple times and just never got done. So, I'd love to make this happen for you. I'm going to add your feedback to our feature board to make sure that it gets collected, and we will let you know when this happens. Thank you for the question. So, Casey, let's do some submitted questions.
Sure, yeah. Do you want me to start with one, or is there one that you would like to tackle?
How about you start with one?
Okay, sure. Let me bring it up on the screen here. So, can I modify, add, or remove files submitted in a form? The answer is yes. There's a couple ways you can do that using GravityKit plugins. I'm going to go through those now. So let me just share my screen here. All right. So let's go through that in GravityView. So here I've actually got a view set up. It's a table. And I'm actually displaying entries here, which are essentially submitted documents. So we've got a few different fields here. But if I click into view details for one of these entries, we'll go into the single entry page. And we can click through to the edit entry screen. So this is something that GravityView allows you to do, which is edit Gravity Forms entries on the front end. And if I scroll down, you can see currently there's no document uploaded here. So I can go ahead and upload one. I'm going to upload a CSV file. Just drag and drop it there. And click update. Great. So it's as easy as that, really. Just upload the document on the front end, update the entry. And there we go. You can see my spreadsheet.csv. So that's essentially how you do that using GravityView, using the edit entry functionality. But you can also do this using Gravity Edit, which is one of our add-ons that allows you to edit Gravity Forms entries faster and more efficiently. So I'm going to quickly go through that. Here we are on the back end. You can see all of the Gravity Forms entries here. And I'm going to go to the form settings. And I've already got Gravity Edit installed. So I just need to enable it here, enable inline edit, and save the settings. And then I'm going to head back to the entries screen. And then here I can just enable inline edit. And this allows me to essentially edit the data right here from the screen without having to actually click into each entry. So here we can just click in, and we can upload a new document here, just like we did previously. And Gravity Edit also works with GravityView, so you can do this exact same process on the front end of your view. So yeah, Zach, did I cover everything there?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, great.
So let's hop into a question that was submitted, but also is being asked live. And if you have questions, leave them in the chat, and we're happy to answer them. I'd like to know if there's more detailed training on changing the look and feel of the views. So this is a great question. I just wanted to start off by saying 2024 is going to be the year of look and feel of the views. We are totally about adding new styling to our existing layouts and adding new layout builder. That's one of the things we're going to be working on and one of the priorities for 2024. So I'm really excited about it. GravityView for a long time has relied on the theme to provide the styling. We were kind of trying to be agnostic in terms of the styling and not be opinionated. But I think it's time to add the option for some opinions. One of the things that we did add recently is a new, and I'll show instead of describe, we added a new tab in our view settings called custom code, where you, instead of previously you would have to add like a widget to the widget bar, and like that wasn't great. So now you can add custom CSS and custom JavaScript inside a view. And even if you are embedding a view, the CSS and JavaScript will be output. And the JavaScript assumes that jQuery is available, so you can use jQuery code directly in here without any problems. So I really have loved this new addition. It makes it a lot easier to do customizations, but we're going to be adding some styling functionality to GravityView and making it easy to dramatically improve the layouts. So Casey, do you mind showing how to use GravityMigrate for styles? So if you, since the question that was submitted was, we love the styles that are in the demo site. Casey set up really nice demos showing all sorts of like real estate applications, all sorts of cool stuff, but it doesn't look like that out of the box. So how do you get it to look like that, Casey?
Right. Yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen again.
Follow-up question is there any help or training on the writing of the CSS for the views? We partner with Gravity Assist, which is an agency run by Beth Hannon. She's great, and her team is great. They can help you with customization requests for GravityView, and that's a really cool. Check them out, gravityassist.dev. They do a great job, and it's a nice partnership that we just started this year.
All right, so here's our demo site. If you guys don't know about this, head over to site.try.gravitykit.com. We have all these really nice demos set up, pre-made applications. And you can actually import these to your own site using one of our add-ons, GravityMigrate. So you can sign up for your own demo site, it's free. And once you're logged in, you can head over to a demo that you like. For example, the real estate directory here, it's a popular one. And then if you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see there's a little call out here, migrate this demo to your own website. And if you click download here, it actually downloads a zip file to your computer. And that is a zip file that has been generated by our GravityMigrate add-on. And using GravityMigrate, you can essentially import this entire demo to your own website. And that includes, the forms associated with it, the views, and any other Gravity Forms data, even the entries, uploaded files and images, all that stuff gets imported over. Yeah, so that's available for all of our live demos, actually.
We didn't discuss this, but Casey, do you want to give that a try? Like live, I can download and import to the new site that I set up.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah. All right. I'll share my screen then.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to go to site.try.gravitykit.com. And if you don't know about our demo site, I know Casey mentioned this already, you can go here and click Take GravityKit for a spin, and this will launch a new demo page for you, a whole new demo site that is a clone of this site. So if you ever want to mess around and see if you can do stuff, go to our demo site, spin up a new site, and play around. You get your own new login. So let's go to the real estate directory that Casey was just showing. Click download now on that migrate link. I'm going to go back to that new site that had nothing else going on. I'm going to go into manage your kit. I'm going to use the nifty little search thing to find GravityMigrate. Oh, look, it's right there. I'm going to install. Now, GravityMigrate allows you to export and import. So if you have some view configuration you really like, if you have a bunch of forms and you want to migrate only the forms, or you want to migrate all the forms and the data, you can do that all from GravityMigrate. It's really cool. When you install GravityMigrate, there's a new GravityMigrate menu under the GravityKit menu. And if you click that, you get to a screen that allows you to choose whether to import an existing export or to create a new export of something you want to share with another site. So just going to choose the file I just downloaded. It's going to upload it. And you get to choose the form that you want to import and all the data connected to that form, including all the attached uploads, including entries, including the views that have been created, form revisions, which Gravity Forms saves but doesn't even support visually yet. That data exists. We migrate that. It includes add-on data so that you can move over all the feeds. If you have like Zapier feeds connected to it, MailChimp, etc., all that stuff gets migrated. Nothing like that set up for this, but we're just gonna import the views essentially in the entries. I'm gonna click import. And the live demo bug comes back to bite us. But let's see if it actually did import things. No. Well, this is in beta. This I don't think is running. We have a new release that is out coming this week that allows you to resume after an error. So that will be helpful in the future. I don't know why this didn't work. I apologize.
Could that be running separate versions of GravityMigrate on different sites?
I don't think so. Bummer. Well, that was the danger of doing it live, but I'm glad that you get to see GravityMigrate, the promise of it, because it's really cool, and it works beautifully 99.9% of the time. Ken Kramer says, I have a local version of a demo site built with GravityMigrate, and it gives me a local version to use as a reference. That's awesome. Yeah, you can log into site.try.gravitykit.com, log into your own instance, export it all with GravityMigrate, import it all into your own site, and it works for Ken. So I promise you, it works most of the time. Okay. Next up. We have a quick question about describing how feature requests make it into our product. So I want to address this because it's a great question. Every time we have a customer support request, and please, if you all have any issues, contact support. We are here to help you. We mean it. It's not just an empty thing. If you're stuck, if you spent 15 minutes, you're just stuck, contact support. We're here to help. We want to help you get set up. Every time you contact support and there's a feature request for something that we don't have already, we add it to our GitHub repository as an issue, or if an issue already exists, we add it as a comment in that issue. And then we prioritize things that have the most requests for functionality. So we take a look at all of our different products because we have a lot of them, a lot of different add-ons, and we say what are the top items for each of these add-ons, and we say like what can we get done in the next quarter, and we work on that. We don't generally pre-announce things because software development is not an exact science, and but we work as hard as we can to get everything out there that we can. Over the past year, you might have seen huge improvements in GravityCharts, GravityView, Gravity Actions. We've released a few new add-ons, like including free add-ons, the entry tags, and the event field. We've made a lot of progress this year, and we're going to even we have another developer joining us starting in the new year. I'm looking forward to just the amount of amazing stuff we implement. So, over the next few months, we have some back-end speed improvements that we're going to be working on for GravityView. But one thing that Vlad, our lead developer, is currently working on that's going to blow everybody's minds because it's really nice is a data table improvement. So data tables right now, whenever we load new data, it goes to the server processes it, it comes back. The data tables revision that Vlad's working on was inspired by one of our customers who said, this is a problem for me. I need it to be instant. We now load all the data tables data into the page load on load, and you can navigate, search, sort, calculate all this stuff on page load, no server side required. And data tables feels so fast. It's really fun. It's like driving a sports car after driving a slower car, not a bad car, but not a sports car. So check out data tables. That's coming hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks. That'd be really nice. So I hope that gives an idea of how we handle our roadmap. We're always working hard to get additional functionality out for you.
So Zach, there's a couple other questions in the chat. There's one here submitted by Jonathan. Do you want to go ahead and take that one?
Yeah, sure. For the DataTables update, has this been tested with thousands of entries? I have tested it with 10,000 entries, and it rocks. I don't know. I also have an M3 MacBook Pro. So because it's loaded into the browser, the performance is determined by the speed of the computer. So at a certain level, at probably 1,000 entries, it might start to slow down if the person's computer isn't up to it. I don't know, maybe 10,000 entries. At a certain level, it slows down. So if you want something that performs similarly for one entry versus 100,000 entries, then Ajax is the way to go. Otherwise, this new feature is going to be available for people who know that they have good computers up to hundreds of thousands of entries. It'll work fine if your computer can process the JavaScript okay, which I think with the Apple Silicon, if you have Apple computers, that should be pretty okay right now. So let's do another submitted question. Let's do a print widget. What do you say?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So James asked, I need a print widget. Is there a recommended way to do this? Yes. And the recommended way is actually something that we're going to be working on. I'm not sure about this year. It's on our feature list. We always want an action widget that makes it easier to do actions easily. The question James had was, is this the right way to do it? Which involves JavaScript void on click equals window print. You could do it different ways in JavaScript, but yes, this is the gist of it. You add this to, and this is a doc on our doc site, adding a print button to single entry page. you add this to a custom content field, which looks like this. When you go into view and you click a single entry layout, add table column, custom content field, and you can add a print script there. And when you click the, oops, I set up the filter before. I'm going to disable the filter so that we can see the entries. When you click into the single entry, you can see print, click print, and it shows a print dialog. So that's the current way to do it. In the future, what we're going to be able to do is add a widget to a spoiler alert. This functionality will require a widget zone in the single entry layout as well. So you'll add a widget to a single entry layout where you can choose an action to be performed by the widget, which you would select the print button as well. So that is the right way to do it. I'm going to add to the chat the correct documentation for that. So if you have not checked that out, that's the way to do that. All right, what's next, Casey?
All right, I think let's see. I'll take this one. How can I make a view display in a multi-column layout? Okay. Go ahead and share my screen. All right, so there's a way to do this just using the GravityView list layout and a short CSS snippet. So basically the default list layout, every entry is displayed one after the other like this. But if you want to create a grid, something more like we saw on the real estate directory, where we've actually got 3 columns, you can do that. And we have a little doc on our in our knowledge base here, displaying a list view in a grid. And you'll see if you scroll down, there's a little CSS snippet that you can use here. This one would just be a general snippet. This one includes the view ID if you just want it for a specific view. And then, like Zack showed earlier, you would just add that to the custom CSS panel here. So this is the back end of the real estate directory, and this is using the list layout. And I've got this snippet here along with a couple of other CSS styles that I've added to this custom CSS box, which is just in the GravityView settings under custom code. And yeah, that will alter the list layout to essentially be like a multi-column layout. And you can obviously adjust that code depending on the width that you want to display your entries with. But yeah, essentially that's how you can do that at the moment, just using the list layout.
All right. Thank you. We have a question from Jonathan Perlman that asks about GravityMigrate. How does it work with multi-site to multi-site and or multi-site to single site? Currently, it does not. It is single site to single site. As far as I know, you would have to export each of the forms, like for each of the sites on a multi-site, you would have to generate a zip and then import it, unfortunately. But that is a good point. We will add this functionality into our requests, like a feature list. So thanks for the question, Jonathan. I'm sorry I don't have a better answer. There's a follow-up that Jonathan also asks, if the form exists on the destination site, can I overwrite that form with what I'm migrating? Casey, do you know the answer to this?
I believe it won't overwrite. It'll just create a new form.
Yes. Yeah, that's right, because one of our goals with GravityMigrate is never to be destructive.
Right.
We don't want to mess with your existing stuff. You can use Gravity Import for that, so you can export your information with Gravity Forms, export the entry data, And then with Gravity Import, you can map entry IDs to the entry IDs on, like, you can import into an existing form with Gravity Import if that's what you want to do, rather than Gravity Migrate, which is moving from one to another without being destructive ever. All right. Let's show how to limit entries to only the people who created them. That's a good one.
A very common use case.
A very common use case. I'm trying to find the thing. Well, this is a different question, but it's kind of similar. Can you provide a complete demo of setting up a view and how to restrict access by user? I'm building an online platform with Gravity Forms and GravityView. Let me pull this up. So Casey wrote some really good articles that go into this. There's a whole course, in fact, called Advanced. I'm going to share my screen. Advanced User Management and CRM Functionality, where it goes into creating a user registration form, then registering the new students, and then displaying the students as they're registered. So Gravity Guide is a great resource for this type of thing. We have a lot of courses that talk about doing advanced stuff with Gravity Forms and GravityView. I recommend, taking some of these courses. I think that'll answer your questions because there's a lot of content here that goes in step by step, start to finish. You're going to be able to follow along and learn how to do that stuff. So in terms of restricting access by user, there are multiple different ways to do this. Let's show them how to use advanced filtering, Casey, to do only showing users who are logged in, only showing entries who are created by the logged in user. Do you mind showing how that would work?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so definitely the easiest way to do that is using our advanced filtering extension. So let's take a look at one of these views here. So yeah, okay, so I'm in the view editor. I've got the advanced filter installed. All I need to do is come down here to the settings, click on filter and sort, and add a new advanced filter condition. And then I'm going to add a specific condition here to ensure that logged in users are only seeing entries that they themselves created. And this is really useful if you're like creating user profiles or like dashboard pages or something, and you don't want users to see other people's entries. So essentially here, I'm going to select created by, and then the next condition, the next one is, we just leave that. And then the next one is currently logged in user. So this advanced filtering condition will ensure that users only see the entries that they themselves created. And that's a simple way to do it using the advanced filter.
And Casey, when it comes to, let's say you want the user to only see the entries they created, but you want administrators to see all the entries and not be limited to only the entries that the administrator created.
Right. Yeah. Remind me about that one.
In created by is currently logged in, and then there's a parentheses option disabled for administrators.
Right. Yeah.
So on the single view, administrators would see everything, and non-administrators would see only the entries they created, which is a really nice way for people who submit their own content. It's a really nice default setting, I think, for the way that people generally want things to behave.
Yeah, generally you want administrators to have access to pretty much everything in case they need to go in there, debug issues. So it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and there's a great. I'd like to show how to do this um, with a short code or a block. There's another way to do this that doesn't require advanced filtering, which is included in the GravityView Pro plan. There's another way that you can do using a block or a short code. I'm going to show how to do it with a block because I think the block interface is really nice. So you can type forward and type in GravityView and select GravityView view to insert a view. And then since we only have one view, it's pretty easy to find out which one we want. You can turn on preview and you'll get a live preview of what the view looks like, which is nice. Under extra settings, if you want to limit it to only the person who's logged in, and there's a doc for this that we'll link to as well, but you want to search, essentially. You're doing a search in the view embed itself, where the created by field has a search value of user:ID. So that fills in, the merge tag is filled in with the current ID of the current user. So that's a similar way to do what we just did in advanced filtering. You want to say that the comparison, the search operator is. So what this query is created by is, and it's the current user ID. What you can do is you can clone this view. So you have one view that only shows logged in items to the current user, and this is only shown to administrators. And you can say created, you can get rid of created by altogether. And then if you have content control, for example, is a great plugin to use. You can say only show this block to administrators and only show this block to non-administrators. And that's another way around it if you didn't want to use advanced filtering. So that's similar. You can do this in blocks as well, or in shortcodes as well, but that's the way to do it for blocks.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning, you mentioned that course before. We have a full-length video course about advanced user management with GravityView, and that goes into a lot of detail about the user merge tag. It's really powerful. There's a lot you can do. You can do stuff like, you can assign, you can create a functionality where you can like assign entries to a specific user and stuff like that. So check out that course if you're interested. Yeah, there's really a lot you can do.
And Ken asks if advanced filters use any can they use custom meta within the user profile? And the answer is yes. Our user merge tag allows you to embed any details using the same structure. So it would be user, like the curly bracket user : and then the name of the meta field, and then curly bracket. And any merge tags work in there, which is really nice and powerful. Jonathan Perlman asks, how do you suggest we migrate complicated forms and add-ons in PHP, but no entries from dev to production? Right now in PHP code, we tie into form ID. So GravityMigrate does a great job, really cool job of taking all the form IDs and manipulating them so that they use the new. So you download one zip and you upload it to the new site, and we update the form ID to the new form ID for all the entries, all the views, the posts, and the pages where the views are embedded or the form is embedded. All this stuff gets manipulated so that the migration happens seamlessly, and all the form IDs are updated. Your Gravity Flow flows, your Gravity Whizzes, all of the stuff. It's all good. What it doesn't do is modify the PHP code. One thing you could possibly do is have like a separate PHP file that has a mapping of all the form IDs and have like a switch in there for like if it's dev, use this array of form IDs, and if it's production, use this different array. That's what I can think of at the moment, Jonathan, but there might be a better way to do this that I haven't thought of. But that's my current thinking. All right, we got more questions to get to. We have a question about data and calculations, Casey.
We do.
Yeah, I'd like to answer that question.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. Does GravityKit have the functionality to calculate data with options to collate as well as filter specific information and produce extra reports similar to what can be done with Microsoft Excel? So I don't know what the word collate means. But GravityKit does have cool functionality that is related to calculating and displaying reports and stuff. So let's show some of those functionalities. I'm going to show. Yeah, go ahead, Casey.
No, I was just going to say, we have two add-ons in the kit: Gravity Math, which allows you to perform advanced calculations using your form data, and then GravityCharts, which allows you to create visualizations and really cool graphs and stuff. So combining those two, you can come up with some pretty powerful dashboards and stuff.
Yeah, and GravityCharts is live updating. So I'm going to share my screen here. This is a view that has GravityCharts built into it. And the view has a few things going on. What we've got here is data that's collected from a form, including type of payment, sign up type, sale amount, and date. And this is a product field from Gravity Forms. And what you can do with Gravity Math is you can ask it to create sums for tables in GravityView, which is a feature I don't think a lot of people know about. So I'm going to show you how that works. But you can create sums in GravityView, and you can also do custom calculations inside and outside of GravityView. This is a custom calculation field in GravityView that is like the sale amount divided by 2, but you can do whatever you want here. And note that there's also averages and sums for all the entries that are being shown on the screen, and then a chart of each of the entries and the different sign-up types. So this is the sign-up type column here, and this is a chart of that data that we're displaying on the view. And if we want to, sorry about that, if we want to, we can filter the values, and the data that's being shown will live update to reflect the different averages and the different sums, and the calculations will all update automatically.
And that chart is just a widget in GravityView.
Yeah, this chart's a widget in GravityView. So this is the back end of that view. And you can see we added a widget here and asked it to display a chart that we have created based on a Gravity Forms form data. So to add a chart, to add the widget to the view, you click Add Widget and then click GravityCharts, which will appear when GravityCharts is installed and active. And if you wanted to see what the charts looked like standalone from GravityView, let's take a look at that. And you can create multiple charts for a form and then embed them standalone using a shortcode or a block, or edit them and configure them to look and feel the way you want. So you can embed this chart into that view as well if you wanted to, and you can say only show where the sale amount is greater than 20 or something. And I think all of them are above 200, so maybe like 300. It will live update. So that's what the chart embedding part of that looks like. There's also the calculations that Gravity Math does. So we're getting closer to reproducing some of the stuff you can do with Excel. Now we're back to editing that view, and I want to show you where you see this calculation icon here. That means that footer calculations are enabled for that field. And this is a checkbox in GravityView for fields when calculations are available and Gravity Math is installed. And I formatted it so that result is the default, and that's going to be output as a number. I know that this is going to be a currency, so I added a $ prefix to make it look a little nicer. And I limited the decimal places to 2. And you can choose to have the calculation be for all entries, only visible entries. So if you do a search, for example, it'll automatically update. Or you can do them for a form, which is like views are normally a subset of all the entries in a form, or they can be a subset. If you wanted to include all the entries in a form, not just the ones that are pre-filtered for a view, you can do that as well. And you have different calculation options where you can show the lowest number, highest number, average of all the numbers, or a sum. There's also custom, where you can do a custom calculation. And apparently we missed a link here. But you can do a custom calculation. So you can say, sale amount times 3. And it will output the calculation like that. So you can do sale amount sum. This is all possible in Gravity Math. We have a doc on how to do this. Sum, you can do average, you could do min, you could do max. And so let's say the average times 3, and it would show this custom calculation in the footer instead of the one that we already had, which was just the sum. And that, just a reminder, looks like this. And this value here for the average and the sum, that is in a widget here, where I did some similar thing with shortcodes, and I said gravity scope visible. So like this is the only calculating for the visible entries in the view. And I wanted to show the average, and I wanted to show the sum, and that's what I did here. So you can build custom reports using this kind of thing with Gravity Math. And there's a lot more you can do with converting view entries into Excel spreadsheets with Gravity Export. Gravity Export also has PDF generation capabilities, which we have a bunch of different ways to do PDF generation, including PDF for GravityView, which is by Gravity PDF. That does amazing generation of PDFs that look really great. And we have customers doing really neat stuff with it, that building a layout of embedding a chart, embedding a table. It does really good stuff. So check that out as well. PDF for GravityView. We have that available on our site. Okay, we have some more chat. Oh, Lifter LMS. Yeah, there's a question about. Oh, no, not a question. Chris from Lifter LMS is here. Hello, Chris. GravityKit is awesome. Thank you. Lifter LMS is awesome. We use it on try.gravitykit.com, and it's great. So there's a question that Ken has. Is there a way to create a summary view which shows a parent field and show nested field data that can be used as a monthly statement by the customer? You can embed in GravityView, you can embed nested fields, nested forms, field values. Yes. Short answer, Ken, yes. We have a field that embeds. Oh, it's so complicated to talk about this stuff sometimes. You can create a view, and in that view, you can add a nested forms field that displays the entries associated with that parent form when you are using the GravityWiz nested forms perk. Did I do that, Casey? Did I answer the question?
And we have a demo of that too.
Oh,
So if you go to
nice.
our demo site and then just /nested-forms, you can see what that looks like.
Yeah. One day we'll have to do a Gravity Forms tongue twister competition.
Yeah.
Ken Shipley says, that works well. We do that. Oh, that's good to hear. Thanks, Ken.
Awesome.
All right. So next up, how can I make searches more accurate? So I thought for sure when we received this question, I thought, well, there's a doc for this. Great. I'll just link to that. There's no doc for it. This functionality has been around since 2015, and we have never written about it. So the question was because, if you write a multiple search term thing, what we do by default is we break it into individual words and we create a search that says this word or that word or that word. And that's not great. So when you're trying to find an exact phrase, it searches for each word. The way to do that is there's a filter in GravityView that we recently wrote a doc about that says GravityView search all split words, and you have to return false for that. And by returning false, that will make it so that the search phrase is matched and not the search words. So thank you for your question, Mark. I just posted the link in the chat. I apologize for not having written that doc earlier because it's a good one. And we do have, I want to make Gravity Forms search better, and it's a complicated problem because good search requires a lot of processing power in the background. There are plugins that do this. WP Search, Search WP can add weights to different form fields and different things. So you can add Search WP and it will manipulate the search results a little bit. We have not tested that extensively, but that is something that some people do. I also want to add Elasticsearch to Gravity Forms. That is something that another company has done with, I'm not sure, success. I'm not sure how well that works, but there is Elasticsearch functionality out there. The problem with that is that you have to pay for another service and have that all hosted on that service. And if we were trying to do that, I would be concerned about privacy of the data. I don't want to send other customers' data to places where they don't expect it. But search is definitely something that a good search is good, bad search is bad.
So Zach, there's a question I quickly wanted to address, one of the submitted ones. So Christy asked, how can I set up our site so form submitters and form reviewers need to register, log in prior to submitting their forms? Essentially, it sounds like she wants to create a kind of sort of review system. So you have form submitters, and then you have people who review those entries. And I wanted to quickly just mention a handy blog post that we have. So we wrote this tutorial here, how to build an application review system for grants, research proposals, jobs, contests, and more. And this really goes in depth, talking about GravityView's entry approval system and how you can create multiple dashboards for people who are submitting applications and then users who need to review those applications or update the status on them, et cetera, et cetera. So if you have something like that where entries need to go through multiple steps of like review, check out this tutorial. It might just solve your problem. It might give you everything you need.
Yeah, Casey's done a great job of writing up all this, all sorts of different use cases. So I highly recommend, if you have any questions, we have Gravity Guide, which is now GravityKit Academy for the courses. Casey's blog content and our doc site are all great resources. And if you don't have any clue where to find all that stuff, support at gravitykit.com. We're always happy to point you in the right direction and help you find what you're looking for. There's a question we have about GravityCharts. Will it chart based on numbers? In my use case, I have individual users tracking their own numbers. I can show it in the table view, but I'd like to show it in a chart. Yes, short answer, yes. We are consistently working on improving GravityCharts' ability to chart things. Our developer Duca is working on adding the ability to show multiple fields in a single chart. So that's coming early next year. That's something we've been working on. And I do believe that now that we have the timeline layout that was added to, or the timeline view of the data that was added in, I believe, charts 1.4, we are able to chart based on numbers. So you can have the x-axis be the submission date and the y-axis be a summation of the entries submitted or the values of the entries. All right. We are at time. I want to make sure that we have a few more pre-submitted questions. Is there anybody on the call who have questions that have not been answered yet? Because I want to answer anybody who's watching live, and we'll respond to people separately offline if we have not addressed your question on the call. All right. Well, for people who are watching, we have a special gift for y'all. We didn't tell you that this was happening, but we are offering GravityMigrate, which is awesome, even though it didn't work in the call. I promise it's great. We are offering a 50% off discount code for GravityMigrate for people watching using the EasyMigrate50 coupon code. And I'm going to add that right now to the ticker here. So if you go on our website, gravitykit.com, and add GravityMigrate to your cart, apply the EasyMigrate50 coupon code, you get GravityMigrate for 50% off. Support uses it every day, because when our GravityKit support, that is, when we have a problem, we clone the form with all this stuff, like including the views, the entries, everything, download it, upload it to our own demo site, and test it out and reproduce it live. So it's super helpful for moving around Gravity Forms data, and we've found it to be just the way to do things. So check out GravityMigrate, EasyMigrate50 coupon code. Yeah. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter. Casey sends out such good content. He lets you know when in the newsletter we include the blog posts that we've written, but also updates related to each of our releases for all of our add-ons. Anytime we release something, it gets in the newsletter. So please subscribe. That's a great way to stay updated. And if you're watching it on Facebook, you're probably part of our Facebook group. And if you're not watching on Facebook, check out our Facebook group. It's really great. People help each other out. We help each other out. We hop on and answer questions. Go to gravitykit.com for the newsletter, gravitykit.com/newsletter, as Casey's showing. And yeah, Casey, I think we answered a lot of questions today.
We did it.
We did it. So I'd love to hear from y'all how you liked the GravityKit Live, because Kane O'Brien has a question we are not seeing. Oh no. Vlad, can you help us out with the... Sorry about that. All right, well, we'll reply to Kane O'Brien offline. Sorry about that. We didn't see that question. But thank you all for joining. Oh, Kane O'Brien sent it prior too. Oh, it might have been about the JavaScript customization. I was going to reply after the call, Kane, because yeah. I figured that was going to be a tough one to answer. We'll answer that offline because I needed to ask some clarifying questions about that. But I appreciate you sending that in, and we'll get back to you after the call is over. So thank you, Kane. I apologize that we didn't get to it during the call. But thank you all for joining us. And Casey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in. This was really fun.
All right, and see you all next time on GravityKit Live.